Okay, we're good to go.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon. Now it's two
Hi.
of us.
Okay.
Hopefully, she'll get here. Okay. And how do you pronounce your first name? Is it Lady?
Lady, like
Lady.
Lady. Yeah, it's pronounced that way. It's just written differently, but you can say lady.
Well, and I know you are a lady.
Yeah, some people say I'm lying whenever I say pronounce my name. I'm like, yeah, I know. But
So, Lady, tell us, why do you want to serve on the board?
actually, I have a coworker. He's on your board, and he is so energetic when it comes to being involved on the board that he seems to be really interactive with the community, and he knows that I'm also being involved with this, especially when it comes to my daughter's activity. I get involved in the community and find out stuff like that, and because of that he suggested that I get involved with you guys since I'm always involved in my area. And he was so enthusiastically about the board and all the stuff that you guys involve to or talk about that I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. I like the fact that you guys, it's volunteering, so it's not something that you actually have to be um in a more political side of it, if that makes sense to you. It's more
Yes, it
about
does.
it's more about the residents in the area rather than more of the political side. So the way he was talking to me got me interested. Like I said, I get involved in the community, but my involvement is more based on the school district or activity for the kids more than adults like, and I get involved on that. So he was more interested since I get all this stuff with other parents and get involved in my community. And so he actually influenced me. I'm like, you need to join. You need to join. So he was like,
Well,
yeah, you putting a lot of pressure on me right now. So
no, no,
I
no.
apply.
No, no, no. Calm down. I
Yeah.
can I can see why you're interested in serving on the board, and you ain't that is one of our questions. You have some. I know you must have some ideas, right? Already.
I do, and I told him I just have to see where you guys are moving forward. Like I
Good.
said, I get involved in not only in Reading because I have other activities in West Long and Muhlenberg and stuff like that. So where I get involved is minimal, and when I get around here, is I find out stuff like around where I live, which is I live in close to Glenside. So
Yes,
anything
I
around
know.
here that is more close by my house to help out my neighbors is good to me. So I can teach my daughter to do that since she most likely is going to do a lot of volunteering when she gets to her middle school.
You'll be able to attend the meetings. There's no problems. The
No,
boards
I
meet
won't.
on the second
No,
and
I
fourth
won't.
Tuesdays of each month at 7.
At seven, I told him I didn't have any problems unless there's something to do with a doctor's appointment, which I doubt.
Well,
And my
that's
daughter,
understood. That's
yeah,
understood.
or she has sometimes well, right now we cannot say nothing because everything is closed. But she's involved in her skating. She does roller skating, so sometimes I do she does training on between 6 and 7, but that's not often. So I told him
No.
I'm flexible, and he said it's flexible. So I'm like, okay, I have no problem. There's no confliction there. It's just, and it's once a month, so there's no confliction.
Why
I'm
do
just,
you feel that the charter board is needed?
Sometimes you need a third person or a different point of view, you can say, to see outside the box. And it's more about how the community feels rather than, like I said, nothing influential,
Hmm.
regardless political, religion. It's just thinking outside the box. And you need a person like that or a body like that. That is not always has to be involved in like in decision making, that they have their own idea of one thing, but think outside that idea, because there's always another way of doing something. It's not always fixed, but you
Okay.
need that open mind person. So I always consider any not only shadow board, but any other individual that can actually think outside the box is always useful in any area.
Okay, Marcia, I'm going to throw you a pass. You're next.
Okay, and just, I apologize for the dog in the background. He hears
Oh, no
something
problem.
that he wants to get after. One of the things, and I heard you say, and I really respect that you want to give back to the community. I would say the Charter Board is probably one of the most challenging boards to serve on because it deals with very controversial issues where people are cited for following the charter. Okay. Have you ever been involved in anything that's been like very controversial?
Truthfully, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Just wanted to be fair to you to prepare you because some of the
Yeah.
more difficult decisions are the ones made by the Charter Board because they're about whether people have followed the law of the city.
Understandable. This
Yeah.
is, you have to have a policy in any organization or any identity, because otherwise it will be chaos if you don't have at least a couple of policy. And if people don't follow a certain amount of policy, then there's a lot of destruct that's not going to happen and dissolve another area that you need rather than just continue and function in one perspective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think you really hit it on the head is the charter is the law of the city. It's the policies. People
Okay.
sometimes are looking for ways to work around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn from your friend about the Charter Board and what was required to serve on it?
Well, so far he explained to me, because there's a lot of detail he didn't tell me because some of the stuff is confidential.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
more that you have to learn, like you mentioned, the policy and the law, and you have to follow what the city has based and the state. And you have to understand what are those policy, because again, like you mentioned, some people bend the rule. There's a way of bending the rule so we can get around whatever policy and just trigger, oh, I'm just going to take this paragraph and this is what I understand from what you're saying, just based on that. So he explained to me that you have to understand the policy about the city and what can it be done, but you have to follow that policy because it's stated on the constitution of the city. That's how he explained it to me. He didn't go into detail again because a lot of the stuff that you guys do is a little bit confidential. So I didn't ask too many questions either.
And yeah, he has to stay completely away from that.
Yeah.
Have you had an opportunity to look over the Home Rule Charter, the document at all?
No, I haven't had access to that. I don't know if it's, he did mention you can go, I think the court has it, that you can get public on the library of the court, but I haven't touched it. I know some of the stuff, basically what I understand, because I have to, since I'm a homeowner and I have another investment property, certain stuff I understand and I read some of that stuff, but I cannot tell you I'm 100% read the whole policies or charters that you guys have.
I believe, Shelley, it is available online, isn't it?
Okay.
It is available online, and if the appointment goes through, she'll get a hard copy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just going to say, if Shelley could direct you to where to download it online, it might be a good place to start as your name comes up for a recommendation.
Sure, will do. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a real learning curve whenever you join any new organization to know what their guiding documents are.
It's like a mission statement.
I will email a link to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay, I don't have any other questions, Strat.
Neither do I. Wonderful candidate.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have any questions either.
Are we all here now? Shelley, is everybody here now?
No, we still don't have Johanny.
Oh, I
Someone
thought,
else said they didn't have any other questions, so I wasn't sure who that was.
no. Okay, that's it for you, young lady. And you'll be contacted by either Shelley or Linda.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for taking your time. Take care.
Take it. Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Anybody else here, Shelley?
There's another telephone that's,
Yeah, but it's not labeled properly though. So who else is with us?
It's Melissa.
Ah, okay.
yeah, it says it's lady. Is Melissa, are you aware we're on the nominations committee, Melissa?
It's Melissa Ventura.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
I'm sorry, what did you ask me?
Yeah, we're having interviews with the nominations committee.
I know.
Oh,
Was I
okay.
not supposed to be on the call or?
No, I was just making sure that you understood, you know, what we were about right now.
Oh, yeah, I got the email with the agenda for it.
Okay, great.
Hmm.
Well, she didn't participate at all, did she? Did she make any comments?
Yeah, we
Doing
were.
our
interview? I didn't have
of
any.
the call. We were a little
No.
confused. Now we see it's you, Melissa. Okay, that's why we
Sorry.
didn't call on you. So I apologize.
No, it's okay.
The next person, Savannah, has joined us.
Well, we can get started right away.
So Savannah, you're being interviewed for the Animal Control Board.
Yes.
Can you hear us, Savannah?
Savannah, can you hear us? We got a yes, but it was very faint.
It
No,
sounded
that
like
was my daughter. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Someone's coming up in the chat room. Let me check this out.
I can't hear anyone trying to get my audio to work. So she
Okay, gotcha.
can't hear right now.
So Melissa, our candidate's trying to get the audio working.
Okay.
Hello?
Savannah?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
We
Now
can
we
hear
can.
you now, yes.
Oh, I can hear you. Sorry, this is my first time using Zoom. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, do you want to be able to have us see you?
Yeah, let me figure out how to do that.
Okay, if you go down to the bottom of your screen on the left-hand side, there's a little camera where it says start video.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay, if you click on that,
Oh,
we should, there we go. All
there we
right,
go.
got you. So now you're fully zoomed
Figure it
out.
out. I'm not a tech Zoom person.
Okay. Unfortunately, I
Okay.
spent too much of my day doing this, so
I bet, yeah.
Okay, and my name's Marcia Goodman Hinnershitz. I'm on City Council. We have two other City Council people on the phone line. They want to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Melissa Ventura.
Hello.
Savannah, I'm Stratton Marlboro, councilman.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Okay, we can get started then.
Mhm.
It's tough asking you what you know about the purpose of the Animal Control Board, because you are right now a Human Society police officer. What is that?
Yeah, I am. So actually, this time last year, I became certified as a humane officer. I went to the schooling that was required by the Federated Humane, and that was about a 2-week schooling. So we did 1 week where we focused on large animal training, and then we did 1 week where we focused on small animal. And we did everything from animal cruelty schooling to, farms cruelty and that kind of stuff. We investigated humane complaints and had 2 full weeks of training out in Penn State University as well as in Harrisburg. And then once we got back from that, we kind of just did in-field training here at the shelter. And then I was actually officially sworn in as a humane officer November of last year. So I've been officially in this role since November of last year.
Well, we're getting blessed with somebody that has the knowledge of everything that we're interested in.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. Actually, so I was previously working with Harry Brown here at the shelter. He's who got me hooked up with you guys. For it was actually a couple months ago. He gave me the application and he said you should definitely look into trying to get on here. He gave me some information about it and had me apply. So yeah, I was excited when I heard from you guys.
Well, you're interested in serving. That's the important thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, we work very closely with the city of Reading. They're our main, I would say probably our main municipality. Some municipalities chose not to sign on with us this year, but the city of Reading did sign on with the $2 per capita. So we do a lot of service for them as far as just offering surrendering for animals. We do pickups in the city for any stray animals that are running around loose. We offer that service. And then we also have the animal control and the humane component as well. So if you have information for a neighbor, you want us to put, do a welfare check on their animals or anything like that, we also offer that for the city.
Marcia's, she's answering all our questions. We're going to ask.
Well, I think though I have some really pointed questions because obviously you have experience being out there in the field. What do you think are the most serious issues that are facing the city as far as animal control?
That's a great question. I would say I'm tied between the stray problem that we see. We see a lot of stray animals in the city, as from just the big stray cat population to dogs running at large. So I think that is something that definitely causes a problem for the people in the city as well as us. But I would also say something that I've noticed since I've been in this role. I mean, I've been with the shelter for 6 years, so I've seen that component of it for a long time where it's just bringing strays into the shelter. But I feel like since being strictly in this position for almost a year now, I feel like the bigger problem almost is making sure that the people in the city are educated on animal control and just how to provide the things that they need to provide for their animals. So a lot of our job, I feel like when it comes to the city, is going out on complaints, and usually people don't want to see us because it means someone's complaining about the way they're taking care of their animals. But it's not always that the complaint is accurate. So a lot of our job is educating and going into the city and going to these complaints and saying, okay, listen, we got this complaint for your dog type. I know you might think that that's the way that you want to take care of your dog, and that's fine, but this is the way the law states that you have to take care of your dog. This is, the ordinances that Reading has for animals outside. So it's really just educating a lot of people on how to properly take care of their dogs and making sure that they have access to places to get their animals microchipped and vaccinated and dog licensing and all that kind of stuff. So I guess the simple answer is probably the stray population, as well as making sure that the people in the city are educated on animals and animal control and how to take care of their animals, basically.
Marcia, we've been blessed with two excellent candidates so far. Excellent.
I had a question, something that I've noticed more in my neighborhood now is people keeping dogs on leashes versus letting them run to the streets. And it seems like, they trust their animals, that they know where they're going, but we have like herds of dogs chasing other dogs around the neighborhood. How would you suggest the city approach that?
I would say, well, and are you in the city yourself?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd have to be.
Okay.
I'm on the east side. Well, I guess they call it the south side now.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people, at least in my experience, I've noticed that when we're just driving through the city, maybe going to a complaint or going to a pickup, I can't tell you how many times I've stopped our vehicle in the middle of the street and put my four-ways on because there's a dog running across the street. I've gotten out of a moving vehicle to try to catch a dog because it's running down the street. And here the owner's, 20 yards behind him. Oh, that's my dog. That's my dog. So I think a lot of people think to themselves, as long as I'm in control of my dog, it's okay to have it off leash. So, one person's version of being in control of your dog is very different than the other. If I am standing out in the middle of an open field and I yell at my dog to come to me, she's going to come to me. If I'm standing in the middle of the city where there's cars driving by and people walking by, there's strollers, there's dogs barking, there's all these things happening. If I yell for my dog, she's not going to come to me because she's so distracted by other things. So I think that a lot of people don't understand it the same way. They think, oh, my dog's definitely going to listen to me. Well, if your dog comes up on another dog or a person with a pizza or a car blaring their horn at you, your dog might not respond to you. So I think the best way, and I've seen it a lot, and I've fought with many people in town who think that their dog will always come running to them. I try to give them all the bad scenarios that could happen with not having their dog on a leash. And I'll let people know, ideally, and it depends on the township. Like there are some townships that will have an ordinance, your dog must be on a leash 24/7, no matter what. If you're found with your dog not on a leash, you will get a citation. And then there's places that they'll say, it's very vague, where it says, as long as you're in control of your animal, it's okay to be off leash. So I think it just depends. I feel like with how tight knit the city is, in a perfect world, every person I think should have their dog on a leash when it comes to being in areas like that.
Well, in the area where I live, leashes are nice, but it appears with the great influx that we've gotten now, new neighbors and everything, a lot of them just don't know or they don't care.
Right.
And you got to keep telling them. Now, after you tell them, they'll find a leash next time they have them on. But we have more non-leashed dogs now than we ever had up in the
Right.
Northeast.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I've seen it a lot more common, especially with everything going on in the world right now. I've definitely seen it in the past few months. Everyone's home, everyone, and it's great. They want to take this opportunity to spend time outside with their dogs, and that's awesome. But I feel that a lot of the times that we are in town and we do see these situations, a lot of time is spent trying to educate people, because there's sometimes very receptive to it, and they'll say, I just didn't know. I grew up and I always had my dogs off leash. And sometimes they're very responsive and they'll actually take our advice. Do they put their dog on a leash the next day? I don't know, unless I'm going to their house and looking. But it's a lot of it is educating people, but there are some situations where I feel like people aren't going to get the point across unless you're almost like threatening them that, hey, you could be charged with your dog running at large if your dog is running loose 24/7 and could be a danger to the public, or you're putting your dog in danger by getting possibly hit by a car, causing a traffic issue. There's a number of different things that we try to explain to people. These are the things that could happen.
Okay, Marcia.
Okay, do you have any questions, Melissa?
I didn't. She gave a lot of information. She sounds like she knows what she's talking about and has a lot of knowledge. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'd like to work on the end with the Animal Control Board as far as more education, because I think you really nailed it on the head as far as people just don't understand.
Yeah.
But I see folks like they will let their dogs out, and the dogs, they aren't even with them. The dogs just run around, and they
Yep.
will come back because they know where their home is.
Right.
But indeed, they're in danger of being hit by cars and that type of thing.
Right. And there's been a lot of times where I've had conversations with people at complaints, and the owners they're thankful that we're there because they know that someone's concerned about the animals, and sometimes there is no actual complaint. And the complaint is invalid or whatever, but it's just us having good conversation with the owners and saying, hey, we're going to give you a week to get a license, a week to get a rabies vaccine. I'm going to come back next week. I'm going to check out, the way you have your dog housed. We'll work with you. If you take it that approach that, listen, I'm here to educate you and make sure that you guys know how to give your dog the best life and abide by the laws the right way, people, I feel like, have been more receptive to that. It's your situations where you're going to come across people who are not going to be, and they're going to give you a hard time. And the way I keep my dog is the way I keep my dog. And those are a little more hard, to get around. But I think at the end of the day, the majority of people that I've come in contact with, at least in the city, have been open to, they want to learn more about what's out there and the options they have to take care of their dog. So I try to keep a lot of pamphlets, and I have a book that I take with me for complaints. I try to keep a lot of like educational sheets in there. I have one for licensing your dog, so that every complaint I go to, I make sure they have their dog licensed. If not, they get a pamphlet on how to get that. We also have one that has all of the low-cost spay, neuter, and vaccine places in the area. So if their dog isn't fixed already, doesn't have a rabies vaccine, there's 10 places you can go that are pretty cheap, and it kind of gives them less excuses to not get it done almost. So that's usually what we like to do when we go out to any call.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, Savannah?
Oh, I'm pretty early, I think. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay, Michael. Nice
good,
to
Michael.
see your voice.
Yeah, nice to hear your voice. I hope you don't mind if I call you Marcia.
Well, I would hope so by now.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to be professional about this.
My name is too long. My last name's too long for anyone to have to say it, Mike.
Okay.
Mrs. Hinnership.
Next,
I've
Mike.
known you for a long time.
Yeah.
Is that Strat on there too?
Yeah,
Me.
Strat's on there. And we were just
Oh, is
interviewing
he
someone for the Animal Control
Councilman
Board.
Marmaru, I should say. I'm sorry.
And we
Okay.
have
I'm sorry. I
Councilwoman
butted
Van
into
Bergen.
your. I don't mean to butt in. I'll wait. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Strat, I guess
Savannah,
we're
that,
ready to move on.
yes, we can move on. Savannah, you'll be contacted,
Sounds good.
okay?
Thank you guys so much. Everybody stay safe and healthy, okay?
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Now we can talk to that other guy that was interrupting us. What's his name?
Oh, I'm very sorry. Do you want me to hang up and I'll call again?
No, it's your
I'm-
turn, Mike. It's fine. You're good.
Just busting your hump.
Who am I speaking to so that I can I know Marcia is there and Strat, I know you. Is Shelley there?
Shelley is here.
Oh, Shelley, I hear your voice. Very good, Shelley. You do a great
Melissa,
job.
do you want to introduce
Thank
yourself?
you.
And who else is there?
Hi, it's Melissa Ventura, Councilwoman for District 3.
Oh, hello. I'm sorry I don't think we've met at all, but thank you
We
for your
have not.
service. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I can tell you from experience, it's challenging. Hello.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
Okay, we'll get started with you. This won't take long. Everything is informal here. Mike, tell us why you want to serve on the Stadium Commission.
Well, I certainly sure you know, and I know that Marcia knows that my whole life has been involved with athletics and recreation, and and my wife and I frequent the ballpark often.
Yes.
The last 2 decades, 3 decades. So, I've become pretty familiar with not only the facility, but the people in management through the years, and I go back to Jimmy Pollock's days, and I was really a part of the integral part of that stadium then, and I just kind of feel like if there is something that I can add to our committee. I have a background in athletics and baseball. I love it, and if there's something that either the city needs to do there or the ballpark people need to do there, then I think we can certainly get together, and talk about these things and make it better for everybody. Strat, I really don't know what would be expected of the commission. I know that you have played a very big part in it for many years, but I'd like to know, and I'd like to help, and I don't know what more that I could offer than to say that I'm extremely interested.
If I may, Mike, I don't want to interrupt you. A lot has changed out there from, I'll say, your day and my day 20 years ago. A lot of duties, a lot of things that the commissioners used to do, we don't anymore. And I talked about this at our last meeting. I really believe that the commissioners should be out there welcoming the people, being at the main gate, talking to the people, asking them if they have any suggestions and things like this. A lot of things, like I said, a lot of things we used to do, that's been taken over totally by the members of the stadium itself. And they're doing an excellent job. I'm not complaining. But I think we need to be more involved out there. At one time, I used to have a schedule of the people that had to be there. I had an early arrival commissioner and a late arrival. And it works out fine, but I think we need to be exposed to the people that we're expecting to come into our stadium.
Yeah, as long as you're wearing some kind of a tag that says that, you know, if I go out there and I see 1,000 people, I just recognize a few. But if I'm wearing something that says, you know, welcome to the stadium, or that I am a stadium representative or something like that, I'm not talking about anything beyond that. But, and I don't know about a schedule all the time. It's, you know, I could flip flop that, but I mean, it's, you know, if it wouldn't be too tight, Strat, I think that's a good idea. I really do. But I'm more interested in, I am really more interested in whatever the commission can do for all the residents that come out there. If it's to beautify something, if it's something aesthetic, if it's something that we have to budget, if it's something that we have to ask them to budget for. You know, I knew a little bit about the contracts a year ago, Marcia. I do know that I had I was cognizant of some of that, but I don't know where that all is now. You know,
It has changed a lot, Mike.
yeah.
In the-
Okay. I'd have to get up to speed, but I will get up to speed. You know, if you would like me to participate, that would be fine.
One thing, we don't have to train you.
One
I was
thing,
just
what?
going to say, Mike, this is going to be a very interesting year because most likely they aren't going to be playing it all this year, but it's going to be a time to regroup and get ready for the next season then.
Well, you know, I want to be optimistic. I mean, you are right, and I want to be optimistic. I sure hope there will be another season, and
Well, I think there will be. I would think so.
Well, I sure hope so. But you know, it was only 5 minutes ago on Channel 9, Marcia. They were talking about the deaths, what it may rise to in September. And you know, if you're hearing that, then are we going to have school? You know, we're not going to have a pool season. I just talked to Matt Lubis this morning.
Sure.
And you know, and I guess you're really aware, and Strat and the young counselor there, you're aware that they're going to take the time to properly fix that pool. They've been
Exactly.
band-aiding it for 2 decades or more. But that's a good time to do that. And I think there's going to be some improvements to City Park. And I have to announce to you that I was speaking with Veronica this morning, and we are going to follow your council's and Mayor Moran's idea that we're not going to move here and do anything unless we get the proper orders from the governor. And we are not going to take the chance and expose anyone. We don't want to make this a hot spot by having our 29th season of Blacktop. And that is really going to crush a lot of people.
Well,
I mean, wouldn't it be a great time for the kids to get out of the house and recreate? But we can't afford to do that. We have 700 young people in that league at City Park, and probably another 700 to 1,000 parents and grandparents who come there. Do you know what I mean? So we don't have any rims up, and we don't have any of that stuff. So that would just fall terribly on your public works department right now to get all that ready. So
okay.
we're going to cancel it. Okay. And if you want to make an announcement, Strat, Marshall, whomever, you can. I'm going to try to get something in the paper, but that's not real easy anymore. You know. So.
Well, I think to that point, we need as a rec commission to reconvene and be able to come up with some statements about what is open and what's not, because indeed, when they initially closed the playgrounds, they taped them off. A lot of that's down now. people are looking for opportunities for recreation. So we have to find
It-
something that is
yes.
workable with this current situation. And
Yes,
Melissa's
you
on
are
the rec
right,
commission
Marcia.
too, so I don't know how, but just to let you know, Melissa, Mike Shorn was on the original rec commission, so he has a lot of background. Besides
Okay.
helping to pull together the,
We were on the original one, Marcia, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and God bless Jim Washington. And
yeah.
Jim Washington and I traveled and pretty much helped to get that thing formed along with our mates on recreation. And we hired our current recreation director. And we did well. We did well. And you're right, Marcia. When it becomes 90 degrees and very humid, I mean, it is going to be awful here in July, beginning of August, maybe the end of June. You know what I mean? Without a pool to go to. Marcia, can you go over across the street from you and get that East Reading pool into a sprinkling pad or something like that? Maybe
Well,
we
the
could.
city's going to be owning it very shortly, so that was one of the thoughts.
No, I was just kidding with you, Marcia.
I know you were. You're busting me. That's okay, Mike.
Yeah. Well, we could let we could have a line or something like that every 6 feet apart, and then we could allow 10 or 12 in at a time to run around and cool off. I'd have no idea how we're going to do this, but
Right
Mike,
now the frogs have taken over that pool. So what can I say?
Marcia.
I know.
We have another
I know.
meeting at 4:45. So Strat.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Calling in.
I
Well-
hope I didn't become too verbose. I didn't mean to, but the young lady I did meet, I wish you well. It is very challenging, but you have nice people, and I really think you guys have really started well. I think
Thank you.
Eddie has done a nice job, and I think that you have good people in place. I really do. And I think you got to look for the good people also in your office there, Strat, and that's Shelley and Linda, because they have as much or more experience in this town and city than most people.
Right. Mike, I hate to cut you off, but like I said, we have another meeting at 4:45, and
No
we should be calling in again. We have to call back in to get on, but
Okay.
I'm wishing you success, okay? And I'm right on that committee with you.
Okay. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Nice talking to you.
Okay.
Please stay well. Please stay well. Okay.
You
Take
Right.
care, Michael.
God bless.
God bless.
Shelley,
Yes.
I'm going to hang up, Shelley, so I can get back on.
Shelley, are we going to hang up and call back in?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm doing now.
Okay.